everyone, welcome to Fintech Talks with TFN. I am Akansha Dimmery, the editor and founder of Tech Funding News, and we are covering live from the IFGS 2024 today from the London Guildhall, and we are taking this opportunity to talk to the brilliant fintech experts which are transforming the ecosystem, the fintech ecosystem of UK. And I will take this opportunity as well to introduce you to Miroslava Betinova.
Correct.
Who, oh my God, it was so difficult.
Not an easy
who
one
is
to
the
pronounce.
head of fintech at Griffin Bank. Welcome, Mary. So welcome over here, and I would really like you to talk about yourself, your journey, and also about Griffin.
Thank you so much for a warm welcome, Akansha, and well attempted to pronounce the name. It's not an easy one, so I'll just summarize again. My name is Miroslava Betinova. I'm head of fintech at Griffin Bank, one of the most exciting newly launched bank in the UK fintech scene, and it's super nice to be here. As I walked through the hall today, I was actually reflecting on my first time here representing Griffin 3 years ago, and
where were you before that? Sorry for interrupting.
Before that, I was stuck in a very happy world of e-money and card issuing, helping to launch and power some of really innovative and value-adding fintech programs in the UK market, and some of them now becoming very serious players within the UK fintech space. So that was definitely the big learning and an extremely happy time on my early parts in fintech.
And tell us more about Griffin Bank. What does it do exactly?
So Griffin Bank, as our founders have a very beautiful way of putting it, we are a tech company with a bank license, and we are a bank for other fintechs to build on. What does that mean in practical terms? We have a full UK banking license. We providing accounts that are interest-bearing. We provide integrated ledger and also a built-in onboarding and verification system.
So is it a B2B bank or a B2C bank?
It is a B2B white label proposition, 100% API driven, 100% here to help and solve problems of the fintech market through our technology, our agile approach, and supported by a brilliant team that we put together.
That's lovely. And I just want to understand more, like for example, I'm a business and I want to sign up for your bank, so what should I have and why should I do that?
That is a really good question, and probably I'm going to dwell more on the part I am a business that wants to sign up with your bank. So what sort of business would you be? You can be a regulated or non-regulated financial institution that's based in the UK, that's trying to enhance existing product roadmap by regulated financial services products. Probably in the early parts of a fintech, when we said financial service or a financial product, everybody thought, oh, it's going to be another bank through an app that's going to give me UK sort code bank account number. Actually, these days it's a lot more, and as we finding out through the many very exciting conversations we're having with our prospective partners, even places such as HR portal or a early wage access company or lettings agent platforms do have a real need for embedded finance and embedded finance products that support the existing users, add a better value, and all in all make it super seamless. So the end goal is that whoever is the end user of the product of the company that is our company, they will really not pause and think for a moment, how does this work, or am I being sent outside of my portal? Like, the objective is just to service the end users and service this client base of regulated and non-regulated companies here in the UK with our license and our tech platform.
That's so basically it's embedded finance is
Correct.
Something you're focusing on. So what are your thoughts on embedded finance market and the landscape in the UK right now, right here, especially in this tough climate?
Yeah. Well, I think it's really having an absolute boom. And one of the early sessions this morning, during the opening remarks, there was a fascinating statistic shared that 86% of UK adults today interact with a fintech type of a product. So the embedded finance has been here for a while. You didn't get to these statistics overnight, so it's been here for a while. There is definitely a room for innovation and a drive of innovation, and how it now needs to be done and scaled forward. It's up to the players that are in the market, like Griffin, but also many of our competitors, and jointly, hopefully, we are creating an ecosystem that delivers the end value to the customer, because that should be essentially the end objective of when you leave work at the end of the day. You think, have we built something that is making someone's life easier? Yeah. And if the answer is yes, then that's great. That was a great day well spent.
That's true. That especially with fintech products, because I just feel most of the fintech products have so many complications, and if they could easy and simplify steps for people who are already, like I am a small-time business person, and I'm looking for a bank right now who can do and simplify things for me. Exactly. Then I would need some less paperwork, some less bureaucracy over there, and some simple steps, and at the same time I'll feel that I need someone who would not fraud me. So how is Griffin working on that?
Exactly, and two very big words you said, simplified and secure. Yes. In a sense, not to be so. Simplicity and security has to be the core of every financial product that's launched. And if I take myself back to the time when I spent around e-money, I was part of launch of two programs, banking as a service programs for SMEs in the UK, who are the real backbone of the British economy. And they were designed with a view that these small businesses don't have large teams, they don't have large resourcing. So the way they bank and the way they interact with the transactions has to be really simplified. So, okay, let's create that part of things, but like you say, it has to be safe. So how do we think about and how do we embed the security and the risk management into the core of the products that's delivered? And that's the beauty of someone like Griffin, where the actual risk management platform and onboarding is already built into the banking as a service building blocks. But we keep coming back to the same message: simplicity and security. Exactly. And I can completely imagine that probably after even like today, your core objective is going to be to process all the business you have discussed here today, rather than think about, oh, now I need to make payments, now I need to do invoicing. So creating integrated, simple solutions that are powered by bank licenses and risk management platforms is really, I think, a winning formula for delivering this type of programs.
Got it. As you said, the market is moving.
Both moving and booming.
Yeah, moving and booming. Up. Exactly. So there are a lot of competitors in the market as well. So how do you separate and differentiate yourself from that and create a headroom which only is owned by Griffin?
I thought about this quite a few times because I get asked this question quite a lot. I speak to lots of prospective customers that come up with very creative ideas, and it's always a learning, and it's always like, oh wow, I thought the market was saturated and there is a new idea. So even that alone really gives me the view that there is 100% space for another licensed bank in the UK market. We didn't launch Griffin to solve commodities problems. So if you want to come to us because you would like 20 different payment methods in different currencies, it's probably not the right match. We try to look into the market for real life problems. And that's a beautiful story of actually our first launch customer within the prop tech sector.
Okay, of course.
I'm not going to pretend that we knew a huge amount about the PropTech space and sort of the transactional banking and legislation around it, other than that in 2019 there was a change in the Tenancy Fee Act, and it meant that letting agents up until that point could hold tenants' money in e-money accounts. From that point on, they couldn't. Okay, so the natural response is, let's go get a bank account with a bank entity, not with an e-money institution. The bank institution considered PropTech sector as high risk for a number of reasons, but it just turned out to be that way. And then all of a sudden you had a whole space that was finding itself unbanked and being off-boarded literally overnight, and then what do? So you start reaching out and looking at who else in the market is new, who can be delivering solutions. And this is how Griffin stumbled up across our first partner, Let's Pay. It's already in public domain, you can read about it on our website. And we thought, right, okay, so what you guys need are particular type of accounts that are providing client money protection. And you need a solution pretty quick. You don't have 24 months to wait for an integration. You don't have 6 months for KYC. So we sat down together, our teams, and worked collaboratively on delivering a solution that it was agile and was stood up within a matter of months, not years. And that then naturally created curiosity within the market. So we just by chance opened this door, and it was like, wow, there is this.
Which year?
And this was last year.
Okay.
So this was literally a few months ago, and we discovered a whole part of a UK industry that was at the verge of being underbanked and unbanked, and we came up with a solution, and that gave us a really great joy because we go, right, we didn't take an approach that this is a solution and let's find a problem for it. We found a problem and we designed a solution for it, and that's how we would like to differentiate ourselves, to be a problem-solving partner rather than product-pushing partner.
Exactly, the simplicity and security and making it simple is something that you're focusing on. And also, I really would like to know about your UK bank license story, because it happened very recently. It was last year, end of the last year, right? And how did it go? How did you work around? What were the challenges around it?
So very rightly pointed out, the license was granted to us last year in March, and we were authorized with restriction. And this concept is very unique to UK, where the regulator says, hey guys, well done, you're regulated, you granted the banking license. However, let's put some training wheels on first before you go out on the highway and start operating as a fully licensed bank. And it goes through tasks around your operational resilience, risk monitoring resilience, and just ensure that when you get to a point that you also have the right level of operational capital and you launch to the market, you are genuinely ready to accept funds and manage the funds in a safe way. But it wasn't an overnight journey. I think it started about 7 years ago when our two founders had an idea. Well, there is a gap in this space, and we would like to solve it. And UK seems to have a very cooperative regulator, and it's very pro-innovation.
And where are the founders from?
They're from USA.
Okay.
And one of them is half British, so that was also part of the decision-making process. From the West Coast, so they arrived in the UK, started their research, and I believe it was end-to-end 7 years till we arrived at the point where we opened for business, and it's great.
You're doing great. You got the license last year. You got an impressive 24 million funding. I think it was led by MassMutual Ventures, NordicNinja, Breega. and there was also Notion Capital and Equity Ventures. So can you share how you cultivated this strong network? Because securing investment in the early stages is both challenging and also crucial. So what was the journey like? How did you meet the investors?
Yes. So the last 12 to 24 months in particular haven't been the easiest, and it's not a secret. I think everyone struggled. But also in a way, what it showcases is that the investors are looking to invest in businesses that truly deliver value. And also, our thinking was around, okay, if we do something that's really hard to do, like to get a banking license, and then we explain how do we want to use this license to deliver solutions to the market that are adding value, that's going to be attractive for the investors. So firstly, we put our thinking and the strategy and the messaging right, and then it's about having lots of conversations, kissing lots of frogs. Some of them stay as a frog, and some of them turn into wonderful investors that align with your culture and are here to support you along the way on the journey. And we're really excited and happy and lucky that we have them on board.
That's lovely. And when are you looking for next investment? Will it be next year?
Probably one to ask the team around the raising, but I guess it's always a conversation that's never too far away in this space.
And also how you plan to use the new investment, because it was very recent, right? How big is your team? Are you planning to expand in this time?
That's correct. A big part always towards the operation capital that is required before you allow to exit mobilization. And then of course, now that we are open for business and open for accepting customers, what we want to continue doing is working on the platform, improving the product, expanding the types of solutions and services that we can offer, and just continue to grow. And it's been incredible, even in the time I've been at Griffin, I think I was number 28, close to 30, and you know everyone on the Slack by their first name, and you even know their cat's name. And we went over the 100 now.
Okay. And where are they based?
We actually quite international in a sense of where our workforce and team members are located. We are based. The hub is in UK, but my colleagues are based in Finland, Sweden. I personally live in Berlin, Estonia, just across Europe really. And it's great. It's that in itself adds such a great vibe and such a great diversity, and we help to provide each other different points of view.
Talking about diversity, actually, I was actually getting there. I really want to understand, how does diversity right now impacts fintech companies? Does it altogether impacts the per capita growth?
Fintech space, in UK in particular, I think that it's tried to make a great effort in the recent years on promoting diversity, and there are some really great initiatives that are happening. I personally think it's very interesting how many more female founders you see at the moment, and I think that's a then direct reflection of the adoption of the products in the market, the fintech products in the market, how many of them are female users, and then it kind of continues in the loop of VC funds that are run by women, and slowly we can see the team girls coming forward, but none of this would be possible or done if there are not initiatives that are currently in place. If every company didn't try to establish diversity, not just as something that's published on a website.
There should be neurodiversity, there should be ethnic diversity.
Exactly.
I mean, Europe right now is focusing a lot on female diversity, which is very good. But at the same time, there is a lot, especially when I recently read an article about Europe being the next Silicon Valley. But I'm sure you must have been to the West Coast, and you must have seen that there is a lot of difference when it comes to fintech, if we talk about as an industry. And
Yes.
if we really need to reach there, and we don't have to compare ourselves with the Silicon Valley over there, because Silicon Valley is just an idea at the end of the day.
Yes, and I do think that it's down to every individual company in the fintech ecosystem to be supporting diversity, as you rightly point out, on every level, not just on gender level, on every level, but truly manifesting it through some meaningful actions, through some even if meaningful get-togethers within the company, and then speak about it openly, be willing to share the outcomes of these talks, the get-togethers. I don't even want to call them talks. Like in case of Griffin, it's really different little groups finding a time to get together, discussing a topic, and then sharing personal experiences. Like, why do I want to be part of this group? Every action you take is driven by something that has probably happened to you in the past. So about making it super personable. So it comes down to every individual in the company.
Talking about individual, you have been 15 years in the industry, you were just telling me. So you must have seen the industry where there were hardly any females. And what were the challenges for you? I can only imagine.
It was certainly a very, very different space, and I also went in. I think the biggest difference and a challenge was my mindset. I felt like I needed to appreciate my seat at the table, whereby now I know that we deserve a seat at the table, and it's gone through a phase of this topic being discussed as something that maybe it's ad hoc. At the end of the agenda, to being in the center of every company's focus and a discussion. So that's the real positive I see. But the work's not done, and it doesn't end, and I don't think it ever ends. Just like any, if you find a problem, whether it's within your organization, within your industry, wider space, usually these problems are not isolated, or they're not isolated case. So if there was one, there was going to be second and third. And that's why the continued work and the continued open dialogue about every type of a topic, be it diversity, be it something else, is so important.
That's so true. It's never a singular problem if you're facing it a lot. And also talking about this, I would love to know what were your standout moments in your journey so far, which led to the biggest decisions in your life?
Standout moments. I was truly, truly proud to be part of launching alternative banking solution here in the UK for migrating workforce, because it was solving a problem I experienced myself when I arrived in the UK when I was 18 years old with a one-way bus ticket from Slovakia. Because I couldn't afford the return flight ticket, so I just bought a one-way bus ticket, arrived at Victoria bus station, and
that is brave.
It was half brave, half crazy, but when you're 18, I guess you think differently. And I connected with the founder of the business way before they became my client, and actually wanted to work for them. And he said, well, it's really nice you're contacting us. We're only looking for engineers right now, you're not it, but what attracted you to our company? And I said, when I arrived, I wasn't able to get a bank account because I didn't have an address. I couldn't get an address without a bank account, and I was stuck in this circle. And here you are launching a business that's solving a problem I've experienced with that one suitcase at Victoria bus station way back when I arrived. And when they went live in the market, and then we helped them to grow outside of UK borders across Europe, there was a true wow, this is really great moment. I'm even feeling little goosebumps now talking about it. Yes, and it's very, very fond memories. Yes, very fond memories. And undoubtedly, the recent one is becoming a bank. But I already joined Griffin at part of the journey when we were very, very close to submitting our application for the banking license. And when I think about this tiny, tiny team of experts that really devoted all of their knowledge, energy, passion to get Griffin to that point. And that then resulted in getting the letter from the FC and the PRA that we will be granted the banking license. And I remember typing the message on LinkedIn, and I thought, what's this? Am I really typing this? Like, am I part of something that can say we're becoming a bank? So that was a real wow moment, and I'm still getting those goosebumps.
We can see that. Yeah, we can see that. And so I know it's been such an enlightening journey, and there have been so many experiences and challenges that you might have faced. Is there anything you would do differently, go back and do differently and fix it?
On my particular journey, or
on your journey?
On my I think, and I'm going to go back to the point I made before, I would feel a lot early like I deserve to be here rather than feel like I'm being, somebody's doing me a favor by making me part of a team. And I would have more confidence in my actual contribution. But I think it's natural, you know, you're very early on in your career, you're surrounded by lots of people that have a longer experience, that's super smart, so you naturally feel like, oh, okay, do I even belong here? And that sort of kicks in. But I think that's one thing I would have changed. I would have felt more confident earlier on that I too can contribute towards helping to launch financial institutions and products and help to do problem solving.
I think that's just part of the process and the journey. All of us feel the same, and then we realize, oh, I should have been here sooner than this, but you know, it's time when it's time.
Yeah, exactly like that. But you know, if I stop now and I look back, it's been a really fun, enriching journey. I'm not going to say it's always easy, it's not. You know, I also have the added element of living away from my family, so sometimes also the personal circumstances creep in, whether you like it or not, and you maybe feel a bit homesick, or maybe you want to be discussing a few setbacks with your family over a cup of tea rather than over FaceTime, and that's not a luxury that I have living away from my family. But overall, very thankful for the last 10 plus years in the fintech space.
Lovely.
And more importantly, I'm super excited about the next 10 years. And I didn't know that this year we're celebrating 10 years of Innovate Finance here at IFGS. And that in itself is showing you a certain landmark of the evolution of our industry and where it came from and where it's heading. And we get to be part of it and shape it. Isn't that brilliant?
Yes, it is. And are there any resources or books you would like to recommend which actually helped you in your journey? I like to be on top of the industry news, and there is so much that's happening. So do you subscribe to Tech Funding News?
I do subscribe to Tech Funding News, actually. That was the only right answer. But there are a number of podcasts, probably 2 podcasts that I listen to, and about 2 publications that I do like a daily digest, because you can also have explosion of information and it's overwhelmed. So yes, accept the information, but only if you know how to digest it in a way that genuinely adds value. And from books, I really like to read travel books, and it's got nothing to do with fintech finance, but reading travel blogs and travel books continues to drive curiosity in me. And as long as you're curious, you want to continue to discover, and if you keep discovering, wanting to discover, you want to innovate, and yeah, it just kind of bounces off on each other. So yeah, I'm not one that's going to be probably buying the most books on the fintech space, but I like to combine the two.
That's okay, and it was lovely talking to you, Mary.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
And thank you so much, everyone, for joining us at the IFGS 2024. And stay tuned for more insightful conversations coming right from TFN. Thank you.